Whoa, whoa, whoa! Holy moly! There you are, Lucy. Good job. Oh my gosh, yeah. Whoo, doggy. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is absolutely incredible. Today we are feeding the big snakes, and I thought I would take you on the journey of what that's like because we're actually out of rabbits. So I'm going to head off to the rabbit laboratory, and I'm going to pick up some rabbits, bring you guys along on it. We're going to take you through the whole process of how that goes, and I hope the start of your day is absolutely incredible. Why don't you go down in the comments and let me know how your day is, because I love reading your comments, and I respond to as many as I possibly can. You guys are amazing. While you're down there, smash that like button. Let's go ahead and gear up and go get some rabbits. I've showed you guys my big snakes feeding a lot, but you know, I thought to myself, maybe if I showed you the entire process. You know, rabbits don't just kind of show up magically. We actually do get them from a rabbit laboratory. Now, this is a pathogen-free laboratory, so I'm not even able to go into this rabbitry or rabbitdashery, or I'm sure there's probably a name for a rabbit farm. Literally, these are bred for laboratory grade, so there's completely no pathogens. I'm going to be honest, I've never been there for the euthanization of these rabbits, but I know they follow all the veterinary procedures because, of course, they are a licensed laboratory, so they have to follow the guidelines. But I actually buy them frozen, which is much better to me. Listen, I understand that they were alive once, but I don't like to ever feed off live animals if I can avoid it, as well as I don't like seeing animals die. So it's nice that I get to go there and just pick up a whole bunch of frozen rabbits. So we're gonna head that way. It's about an hour away. We're gonna get there, we're gonna load up the truck, head back, and then I'll show you how we defrost them as well. But in the meantime, it's pretty cold outside, and we've got to go down some dirt roads that I have a feeling are not going to be very easy to get through, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to make sure your snakes are happy. Alright, so I am here at the rabbitry, picking up the rabbits. Trust me, there's a lot of weight in these things, but we're just going to load them up in the back of the truck. Alright guys, so I have a load of rabbits in the back here. I always wonder, like, what would happen if I ever got pulled over by a cop and he saw a bunch of dead rabbits in the back of my thing. But I realize that they are animals and I try to treat them with as much respect. I get it, but you know, the snakes need to feed. So regardless, it's a little chilly out here, so I'm gonna jump in the truck and I'm gonna get on my way. I want to just continue to clarify that I'm an animal lover, and I've told this story before that I almost stopped keeping snakes when I was younger because it upset me so much that they ate rodents. And I really love rats and mice just as much as anything. And I certainly think rabbits are amazing. I had a pet rabbit for a number of years. I want you guys to understand that I realize that it's kind of a bummer feeding off rabbits to snakes, but that's just kind of part of it. I love snakes, I'm willing to do it, and I've been buying rabbits from these guys for 29 years, so I've known them for a long, long time, and I know that they love their rabbits as much as anything. I mean, that's their business, and they take amazing care of them. Unfortunately, I get to take their excess away, which is really good for me. And just to give you an idea, rabbits usually sell for about $1 to $2 a pound. So a normal big rabbit's going to be 5, 6, 7 pounds. So it would cost anywhere from like $10 to $15 maybe for a rabbit, sometimes even a little bit more. I get this entire truckload for $100. That's just been a relationship I've had with these guys for many, many years. They say, come and get them for $100. You can take all that we have. Sometimes I get a bigger load, sometimes I don't get as big of a load. Today was a pretty big load. So again, I just want to take you guys on the entire process. As for now, we're back to the shop, and then we're going to start thawing some of these out for the snakes. Alright, so I am back here at the shop with my truckload of rabbits. Thank God I didn't get pulled over and have to explain that one to the cops. Eric and myself just have to unload these, get them in the freezer, and then I can start thawing out to feed the big snakes. Did I mention it was cold outside? Alright, so we have them inside, now we have to just get them downstairs. It's a good cardio for the day. Get them in the freezer, and then we can start thawing. Okay, so that is definitely a freezer full of rabbits. We're gonna thaw out a handful of rabbits, definitely feed Lucy, try to feed Daisy, but she's going into shed, and then we'll just try to see what else eats these rabbits. So I'll show you how to thaw rabbits out right now. Well, obviously anyone that has thawed out a turkey for Thanksgiving or whatever realizes that there's a lot of meat to thaw out. You can see these rabbits are relatively big. You could do it one of two ways. You can actually leave them out overnight and then maybe warm them up in the morning, or you can do what I'm doing now, which is basically using warm water to thaw these guys out. Now, you don't don't want to use hot water because, again, if these guys are sitting in water for an hour or 2 hours and it's really hot, they're actually going to cook a little bit. I use just slightly warmer than lukewarm just to help continue to thaw out. Now I'm going to leave them for probably 2 or 3 hours, and then just before I feed them, I'm going to heat them up to not a hot temperature, but a relatively warm temperature. That way we get that core temperature up, and that heat pits of those pythons are going to really fire off when they go to strike at it. So again, we're going to fill this tub up, and we're going to wait probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I'll kind of test and feel them. And again, I keep going back. I understand, guys. These guys are animals, and I'm an animal lover. I don't want you guys to think that I take any pleasure in this whatsoever. I love snakes, and that's why I feed snakes, rabbits, and rats, and mice, and all that other stuff. The truth is, I love all of those animals just as much as I love snakes, but hey, you know what? As a snake breeder, you gotta feed rodents and rabbits off, so that's just the way it goes. But regardless, I'm gonna fill this up and then just go ahead and wait. When they're ready, we're gonna feed some big snakes. In the meantime, I think we're gonna check in with Kelsey because she has to feed some smaller snakes.
Hi guys. So we've been all done hatching out babies from our previous season for a little bit now, and most of our babies are at least a few months, if not older. And now they're well started and they're at the age where we can start transitioning them from live to frozen. So most of them have pretty good feeding responses, and I'm feeling pretty confident that they're gonna switch over pretty easily. Let's see what they'll do. Alright, I'd say that went pretty well. Most of my babies took frozen no problem, which makes me very happy. It makes things a lot easier on us because we would really like for most of our babies to be on frozen before they go to our new home. So I'm feeling pretty good about today's feeding day.
Before we get feeding the big snakes like Lucy and giving Daisy an opportunity to eat, I think I'm going to go ahead and offer Sunrise her very first rabbit. Now, just to let you know, she eats large rats, and sometimes Burmese will switch really quickly over to rabbits, and sometimes they just don't. It takes a little while. She's right at that size where she may or may not take it. So let's go ahead and give it a shot, and maybe Sunrise will get her very first rabbit. She's interested. Look at that! Oh, all right, how awesome is that? Look at Sunrise, she's got her first rabbit. And I tell you what, guys, if she crushes this rabbit, it is gonna make her grow so quick. She will literally go from now like 6.5, 7 foot to like 10 foot in a few months. I mean, that's how quick they grow once they eat a big meal like that. Look at that. All right, Sunrise. Look at the big lump in her. How freaking awesome is that? Oh my God, Sunrise, you're gonna get so big. Her first rabbit, and again, that is always that kind of graduation to the next step. When they go from rats to rabbits is when they really start to explode. Sunrise, you look absolutely incredible. And you can see that was a really big rabbit, and really the lump is big, but it's not too crazy. It's not too big for her or anything like that. That is the perfect thing. I am so excited about it. Sunrise ate. That is awesome. Let's go ahead and feed Lucy. All right, so it's time for Lucy. And of course, you guys remember we cleaned Lucy. Kelsey, Mary cleaned Lucy yesterday, and she's already destroyed her cage. Hence, keeping big snakes is a lot of work. So her cage is already kind of a disaster, but she had a little bit of stuck shed on her, and thankfully, she's kind of got all the shed off, which is really awesome, but unfortunately, it's all over the cage. But we're gonna feed anyways. And Tina, you're feeding, right?
No. No, we're feeding Tina too, Lucy.
Oh, we're feeding Tina too, Lucy. I got things confused. No, so Tina is just watching. She does not want to feed. But Mary is going to step up and feed Lucy today because I get a chance to feed these snakes. Kelsey feeds the snakes all the time, so we always want to switch it up a little bit. It is really exhilarating feeding a big snake. I've always said, unless you kind of have done it yourself, it's pretty amazing the power that they have when they snatch it out of your hands. It's just a cool experience, so I'm excited to see Mary do it, so let's go ahead and see how Lucy's going to go. All right, Lucy, you got yourself a little present. Uh-oh. There you are, Lucy. Good job. That's it. What'd you think, Mary?
Really fun.
Is that awesome?
Oh, yeah.
I know, it's just awesome when you can feed those things. So Lucy will probably get 2, maybe even 3 rabbits today. All right, so that is rabbit number 1 for Lucy. She did really good. Kelsey is actually going to take the helm and go ahead and feed rabbit number 2. Oh, yeah. And there she goes. Rabbit number 2. You know, the second time it's never quite as violent, but she definitely took that like, is my rabbit, give it to me. Good job, Kelsey. So our new beau has just been crushing frozen rats, but I've never fed her a rabbit. Let's go ahead and see if she'll eat it. Because when you're in the production season, you want those females to eat as much as they possibly can. Calories in, production out is what I always say. So let's see if she'll take one. You want to try? Oh my gosh, yeah. Whoo, doggy. Whoo, she took that with a vengeance. That is awesome. All right, she crushed that rabbit. I mean, look at that. It is amazing. And I always think it's kind of funny with boas. I think they're just kind of more muscular, so it doesn't look like she has nearly the lump. In actuality, it just seems that they kind of crush it down and make it a little bit longer. Regardless, this is going to be really good, and this is great for follicle growth and breeding because you want those females to have lots of nutrition. Again, I always say when you're breeding animals, it's kind of like, think about in the wild. If a female knows there's an abundance of food, she's more apt to produce babies because she's thinking, all right, my babies are going to be able to survive. If food is scarce and she's not eating a lot, she may not reproduce because in nature, that's a bad thing to have babies and then your babies starve to death. Does that make sense? So regardless, she did good and that's going to go a long ways. I've got 1 rabbit left. I think I'm going to try Ricky. Okay, let's see what he does. Ricky, you want a rabbit? You want a rabbit? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Holy moly, that was close. Ricky, that thing is crazy. I mean, that thing almost got me in the stomach. Ricky, you are a madman. Look at, he's like, I'm gonna eat this rabbit. I love it. Alright, so there it is, guys. I tell you what, that was an absolutely crazy feeding days, and for you guys that thought, like, how do you get those rabbits? Where do you get them from? What do you do next? The step-by-step process of feeding big snakes. It is a commitment. I tell you what, it's not for everyone. Big snakes aren't for everyone, but if you have the resources and you can take care of them, they're absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here and get out of here for the night. I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing day, evening, morning, whenever you happen to be watching it. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys mean the world to me, and I love you so much. Can you do me a couple favors, please? Can you smash that like button, as well as turn on those post notifications so you know when I upload a video, which is every day, 7 days a week at 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Remember to be kind to someone, and I promise I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.